No one understands why those who fall back seem to be gaining ground, or how a world can keep standing while its foundations change substance. Marcus Albinus, Roman cavalry officer, clenches the reins until they cut into his flesh. In front of him, a sea of Gothic shields. Behind him, the Roman Empire crumbling, ready to shatter. Marcus has only one order: hold the line until Claude's signal. He feels the sweat under his helmet, the leather of his saddle slipping. The scouts return panicked, speaking of villages razed, sanctuaries pillaged, armies coming from sea and land. Among the ranks, a rumor spreads. This time, they are not here to plunder. They have come to finish Rome. Silence weighs on the helmets. One thing has obsessed Marcus for weeks. The reports don't add up. The Goths are approaching the Balkans by the inland roads, but fires have been seen further south, near the Aegean Sea. Refugees speak of black ships, of Heruli burning ports, while others swear they encountered the same barbarian insignia far inland. A coalition seems to be moving like a storm, striking at sea and on the roads, with no clear line. In the middle of this chaos, a name circulates among the officers: Naissus, a lost crossroads which, according to the messengers, suddenly becomes the hinge between survival and total collapse. Doubt settles in. Marcus is no strategist, but the whole army lives on a comforting explanation. Hypothesis A, the one his legate repeats under the tent. The Goths have overreached. They have scattered themselves across the Black Sea, as far as Greece, plundering too many cities, too many sanctuaries. Their coalition seems huge, but it would be stretched thin, disorganized by distance. Naissus, in this reading, is only a convenient geographic bottleneck. Let the enemy pour in, close the trap, break an army already exhausted. Claude, haloed by his new title, would only have to deliver the final blow to a spent force, caught in the snare of the Balkan roads. This hypothesis shatters the morning Marcus sees. With his own eyes, the enemy columns deploying in impeccable order, tight ranks, cavalry intact, standards high, without the slightest sign of fatigue. That evening, in the camp, a subtler version spreads. Hypothesis B. The real danger would not be the mere Gothic mass, but time. The Central Empire is torn apart. In the west, provinces have broken away under their own leaders. In the east, another power is taking shape. Claude's resources are limited, his reign still young, his legitimacy fragile. The idea takes form that Naissus is not just a battle, but a silent negotiation with the entire map of the empire. If he wins quickly and crushes this army, he recovers his prestige, secures the Balkans, intimidates dissidents. If he bogs down, the barbarian coalition can fragment, slip away from the great battle, continue ravaging the roads, while other fronts catch fire. It would no longer be just an invasion, but a test of resilience, a demonstration offered to every potential usurper. This reading is brutally overturned when Marcus discovers that, in fact, Claude seems to seek not a simple annihilation, but something more ambiguous. To survive, certainly, but also to recover men, settlers, perhaps even allies from within this enemy mass. Thus is born Hypothesis C, the one no one dares voice near the imperial tents. What if this battle, proclaimed the salvation of the empire, were nothing but a gigantic human sorting? Destroy the most dangerous elements, absorb the others. Not saving Rome from barbarism, but manufacturing a new living frontier by integrating those just massacred. Today's enemy as tomorrow's raw material. This suspicion makes each of Claude's decisions unreadable to Marcus. Why draw this army so far into the interior, if the aim is not only to kill, but also to choose who will have the right to live long enough to serve under another eagle? He notes this inconsistency without being able to dispel it. As the days go by, a single thing keeps Marcus from understanding what he is living through: the total absence of certainty. In the camp, orders come down, precise, but the reasons remain vague. Some roads are reinforced, other villages abandoned without explanation. Veterans mutter fragments of past disasters, like Abrittus, where an emperor fell in the marshes with his son under the Gothic charge, leaving the Danube open, fear embedded in the officer's memory. This time, no one wants to relive a blind charge. Yet it is not fear of the enemy that paralyzes them. It is something else. Marcus feels it every time he approaches the headquarters sector. The guards screen visitors. The scribes fall silent as soon as an ordinary cavalryman comes within earshot. There is an obsession in the air. Time. Not the time of battle, but that of other fronts Marcus cannot see. Messengers arrive, dusty, and leave again without spending the night. Each dispatch Claude receives seems to shrink the space for decision around Naissus. Marcus almost grasps the deeper reason for the deadlock when he sees, on a table, a map covered with small pebbles. The roads of the Balkans, markers to the north, but also signs for western and eastern provinces that his superiors brush aside with an impatient gesture. That is where the wall rises. The empire no longer has the capacity to fight everywhere. Naissus is not just a battle to be won, it is a gamble. Concentrating here what means remain, while accepting that other regions will drift. No one puts this admission into words. It shows itself in tiny details. Marcus's sandals, for example. They have been cutting into his skin for weeks, the straps too worn, clumsily reattached by a countryside craftsman. Supplies no longer arrive with the regularity of earlier times. Breastplates are repaired with badly fitted plates, shields reused after previous battles. When he takes off his sandals in the evening, the flesh is cut across the top of his foot, swollen, red, a dull pain that reminds him that even here, at the heart of the imperial effort, everything is already in emergency mode. It is not total lack, it is selective lack. The legions are still there, the standards gleam in the light, but behind them, logistics are breathing hard. The Empire is giving everything at this precise point on the map, and this everything is already no longer what it once was. This wall is the silent admission that Naissus must succeed because there will be no second attempt on this scale. If this Gothic coalition is not broken here and now, there will remain only a mosaic of provinces improvising their defense, each for itself, while the Goths, the Heruli, and other peoples test every breach. Marcus grasps this on the night he receives the order to hold a secondary pass. According to the map, it is a possible retreat route for the Goths. According to the whispers, it is also a corridor through which some enemy groups might be allowed to slip away, then reused. But no details are given. He is ordered to maintain pressure, to keep up the pursuit without completely annihilating the enemy, unless another signal is given. This ambiguity gnaws at him. He no longer knows whether he is protecting the Empire or taking part in a maneuver meant to shape a future in which he himself will have only the role of a disposable pawn. The only certainty, when he tightens his straps over raw flesh, is that the Roman machine no longer has enough air to hesitate for long. It will have to cut, brutally, into the human mass advancing toward Naissus. Nothing is moving yet on the surface. Historians agree on seeing Naissus as a decisive victory for Claudius, halting a Gothic offensive that directly threatened the Balkans and, by extension, the unity of the empire. Some of them, however, qualify this triumph. According to them, the military success masks a more troubling reality, in which Rome is already beginning to integrate Gothic contingents, to settle them, to make arrangements with those it has just defeated. What they refuse to fully admit, despite the evidence, is the idea that this battle, presented as a salvation, might also mark the moment when the Empire accepts that it will never again single-handedly control its own borders. When the battle truly breaks out, Marcus no longer has time to think. The first clash is a black wave against a wall of steel. Roman javelins fly, Gothic arrows fall, horses toss their heads, maddened by the blood. The plan is simple in his mind. The infantry pins the enemy. The Roman cavalry must strike at the precise moment when the Goths commit themselves too far. The signal comes. One trumpet, then another. Marcus drives his heels into his mount's flanks and charges. In front of him, enemy shields waver, surprised by the counterattack. For a few moments, he believes in the heroic version of the story. Rome, crushed for years, finally rises again, shatters its invaders, closes its frontier as one closes a wound. But in the heart of the turmoil, certain details are off. Some enemy groups seem to maneuver with strange caution, testing the lines without seeking all-out ferocity. Roman squadrons push them back, encircle them, then pursue them without completely slaughtering them, channeling them toward certain valleys rather than others. Marcus receives orders to pull back at the very moment when his men could finish off a core of Gothic leaders. The pursuit that follows the main battle drives the point home. Day after day, they hunt scattered bands. Some are trapped and exterminated, others are simply dispersed, pushed back. Several times Marcus passes columns of prisoners. Men, women, children, closely guarded but fed, treated like a resource one does not want to waste. There is talk of settling them in depopulated lands, of enrolling them, of using them to repopulate regions exhausted by the fighting. Little by little, what he believed to be true begins to collapse. He had grown up with the clear idea that Rome existed to maintain a sharp frontier between itself and the world beyond. Here, at Naissus, that line blurs. Victory is not a simple expulsion of the enemy. It is a sorting operation. Those who resisted to the end lie in the ditches. Those who are captured or surrendered are already counted as a force to be redistributed. The expression, salvation of the empire, takes on a darker shade. The empire is saved, yes, in the sense that its Balkan roads do not collapse, that its cities do not all burn at the same time. But it is saved at the price of an implicit admission. Alone, with its own resources, it can no longer hold. Its survival depends on the absorption of those who, a few days earlier, were slitting the throats of its peasants and burning its ports. Marcus also understands something else. This victory that gives Claudius his glorious title solves almost nothing in any lasting way. The emperor will not reign for long. Others will take over. The Goths, for their part, will not disappear. They will fall back, regroup north of the Danube, and return later in other configurations, sometimes as allies, sometimes as enemies. Naissus is not the end of a threat. It is a brutal reorganization of the balance of power. On the evening when the news of the triumph officially circulates in the camp, with acclamations around the name Gothicus, Marcus sits apart. His feet ache, the skin raw under the straps still not replaced. He watches a column of Gothic prisoners pass by, chained 2 by 2, flanked by silent Roman soldiers. He knows that some of these faces will soon be found under another uniform, on another front, defending the same borders they tried to break. Then one question, a single one, remains with him, heavier than the weight of his armor. If the empire must save itself by gradually becoming what it once fought, what, exactly, was saved at Naissus? At first light, the plain near Naissus is covered with a low mist. Gothic and Roman corpses lie in a jumble, shields driven into the mud, spears stuck at odd angles. A Gothic child, dragged along by a soldier, slips on a split Roman helmet before disappearing behind a column of prisoners. Farther off, on a mound, an imperial eagle gleams in the sun, slightly twisted, its point driven into soil black with blood. The mist still hangs close to the ground,